just because his stepmother wanted to kill his sister. He coldly placed a collar around her neck. With this collar, even if she was the most respected queen, she would be nothing more than a tame pet in front of him. Watching the protagonist walk away, the queen completely collapsed. Not long ago, he had finally discovered that the mastermind behind the assassination attempt on his sister was none other than his stepmother. This, undoubtedly, had touched his deepest, most vulnerable spot. Meanwhile, the queen was still lost in her own beauty. But when she heard the news that the protagonist's sister was still alive, she was completely enraged. The queen would never allow anyone to threaten her position. But just then, the protagonist arrived alone at the heavily guarded palace. The queen immediately summoned countless streams of liquid to encircle him. She intended to slowly drown him in this trap. However, to her shock, the protagonist easily broke free. Though the queen wasn't surprised, she had clearly underestimated him. No matter what attack she used, she couldn't even scratch him. Feeling increasingly helpless, the queen was taken aback as the protagonist casually fired an energy blast, pulling her back into reality. Despite her best efforts to resist, the protagonist's endless magical power still instilled fear in her. Even the Demon King didn't possess such power. With her magic nearly drained, the queen decided to make one final gamble. She would use her sword, the very weapon used to slay the Demon King, to kill the protagonist herself. However, to the queen's utter disbelief, no matter how desperately she swung the sword, the protagonist easily countered all of her attacks. Unable to control herself any longer, the queen leaped high and pinned the protagonist firmly beneath her.
私に剣でかなう者などいないわ。私が世界で最強なのよ。
さあ、お仕置きの時間だ。
Feeling the coldness of the collar against him, the queen, high and mighty as she was, couldn't accept the humiliation. But the protagonist didn't care about her feelings at all. After all, with this collar, her life was now in his hands. The protagonist then warned her that from now on, she was never to harm his sister or her family again. If she did, the collar would stay with her for the rest of her life.